Amy. This is Monica. Just wishing you a good trip with your FFA convention, and I hope you get to be an officer. Have fun. Take care. Love you. Bye.
This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Be the light. Show what you're made of. Be a leader. Do the right thing. Say the right thing. Do better. Work harder. Lead better. Be enough. For most of my life, this is what my mind sounded like. For a long time, those words didn't feel inspiring. They felt heavy. Because while everyone around me was telling me to be the light, there were moments in my life where I couldn't even find my own. Moments where I didn't feel like I was belonging in the place where I was standing, and moments where I felt like everyone else had something figured out that I was still searching for. The truth is, every one of us will have a time in our lives where our light feels dim. And sometimes the greatest gift somebody can give us is the chance to borrow their light. The first person who ever let me borrow their light was my grandmother. Her family was from Poland, so the Polish name for grandma was Matka. Some of my favorite memories were baking with my Matka on hot summer days with the windows open and the smell of cinnamon filling the house. Of course, she always insisted we bake everything from scratch, so flour would be all over the counter, dough stuck to our hands, and somehow we'd always end up laughing along the way. She would write little notes in the margins of her recipes. 400 degrees burns it, lower it. Applesauce works better, use that next time. And although I always thought that it was her fixing her mistakes, I slowly realized that this was her sharing her light. Every time I opened the recipe book, I immediately was borrowing her light. And let me tell you, her light was radiant. And everywhere she went, she left a little bit of it behind. Whether it was county fair week, football games, basketball games, really anything that ever mattered to my brother or I, you bet Motka would be there. She was my biggest supporter, number one fan, and best friend. Even when arthritis made it hard for her to walk, she hardly ever complained. In fact, we would actually try to get her to use her cane, but she didn't want to be perceived as old, so she refused. Instead, she kept on doing what she had always done. She kept showing up for the people she loved. Then, in December of 2024, my world felt like it got flipped upside down. At 6 o'clock in the morning, my dad flips on the light switch in my room and says three words I never wanted to hear. Matka passed away. And just like that, one of the brightest lights in my life was gone. I'd never lost someone that I loved so much or I was so close with. So my world literally felt like it shattered. I didn't want to go to her funeral. I didn't want to admit that she was gone. But I went anyway. Because the thing about my Matka was she showed up. And if she shows up, why wouldn't I? I sat in the corner quietly at her funeral and listened as people shared stories about her. They talked about her kindness, her faith, and her unconditional love for the people around her. After all the conversations were over, a family friend came up to me and said something I would never forget. They said they could see her in me. And in that moment, I realized something. Her light didn't disappear when she did. Her light didn't fade away in her passing. Her light is still here. And it carries on in the people she loved and the lives she touched. And I will continue carrying my light with her for the rest of my life because none of us stands alone. We are all pieces of one another. Hear me when I say this. You are your coach's belief in you. You are your advisor's patience. You are your friend's encouragement. And you are your family's faith. And someday, there will be a time when someone walks up to you, finds their light in you. And what they really will be seeing is every single person who refused to let you sit in the dark alone. For my grandma, being the light meant showing up, being kind, and living her faith in Jesus Christ every single day. Although I'm still learning to be that light, I try to show it by the way I care for the people around me, by giving advice to my younger brother Levi, whether he asks for it or not, and being the best daughter I possibly can be so my parents know how proud I am to be their daughter. Everyone has something that gives them a little joy or meaning. Find what that is for you and let that be your light. Let your light be the thing that brings warmth to the people around you. Let's do something together. If you have a phone, take it out and turn on your flashlight. Now hold it up. Wow. Look around this room. Just moments ago, this room felt dark. But look at how bright it becomes when every single one of us shares a little bit of our light. Wyoming FFA, I'm not asking you to be the light. I'm asking you to find it. And if there ever comes a day when your light feels dark and you can't find it anywhere, you can borrow some of mine. Because all we are, and all we ever have been, is borrowed light.